Heal Yourself with Sarah Dawkins, Episode 20, with guest Kaylene Hay. Since the late 1980s, Kaylene has had a keen interest in the body, mind and emotion connection. She became an avid reader of many personal development, spiritual and metaphysical books like You Can Heal Your Life by Louise L, and knew she had many emotional issues, fears and phobias to heal. Becoming a Reiki Master was something that Kaylene was very drawn to undertake because healing could be done at any time and healing could be sent out to any past issue, allowing her to take responsibility for her own health and well-being. All the knowledge, healing tools and awareness gained over this period proved to be very beneficial when she was diagnosed with stage 3 vaginal cancer in May of 2001, and she was advised to have immediate surgery. Once the root cause had been identified through healing and inner guidance, highlighting sexual abuse at the age of 5, Kaylene was able to heal herself naturally without the use of drugs and surgery. She believes the same tools and strategies can be used for any ailment or disease. And as Kaylene says, the past is what influenced my life choices. Now my new beliefs continue to create a better future. So welcome, Kaylene. Hello.
Oh, hello, Sarah. It's lovely to be here. Yes.
Oh, it's great to speak to you, and thank you for coming with us.
It's a pleasure.
Would you like to share a bit more details about your own healing?
Oh, well, where do we start? As we said in the bio, it started back in the 90s, but even before that, we got involved in the power of the mind and positivity and all that sort of thing. So then once I was introduced to the Louise L philosophies, it just made so much sense to me. And I just said, this is the book for me. And so I kept reading and healing and crying, reading, healing and crying as we do. And I even did her teacher training. So I was teaching her workshops and study courses as well. Little did I know that it was really all only about me anyway. And I didn't know her story was so close to my story. But anyway, as it was. So I think because of all the stuff that I did with Louise L, all the work that I did with her philosophies and her affirmations and I think the probable causes were really, really important to me. I don't say all of them were spot on, but they certainly gave me a starting point. So you could look up what a sore knee was. Oh, okay. Now we start with an affirmation. You can change it and make it up for yourself. So I sort of was using that actually for, I think about 15 years. I was doing all that healing. So I was sort of in the mode of healing myself anyway. And then when the cancer turned up, well, I just thought, well, I'll just continue doing what I had already been doing, what I'd learned. And as once it was all healed, it was like heal thyself. So I was teaching everyone else to heal themselves, but it was really about me healing myself. Yes. So Louise's stuff and the Reiki, of course, was extreme. Those two modalities together worked extremely well for me, very well.
Yeah, because there's such a lot in metaphysics, isn't it? It's such a huge subject, and I'm learning more about it. But it's so, how our thoughts and our lifestyles and our beliefs affect our health.
Yes.
And like you say, Louise L, with all the work and background she's done, she linked certain disease processes to certain beliefs or certain things that had happened in our younger years, and emotional well-being. Such great work that she did, and absolutely Louise L was abused as well as a child, wasn't she?
Yes, she was, yes. And the self-esteem issues, the unworthiness. I think we all have issues in those areas, and we come here to learn more and more about that and feeling better about ourselves. And so whatever else we can do to clear away the old stuff, the better off we feel. So it's yes, there was quite a lot of emotional healing for me, from childhood, from birth onwards. But as you learn and you grow, you understand that our parents were doing the best they could. Absolutely. They didn't mean to cause us any harm, and my belief is that we chose them anyway for what I came in to learn about. So they were doing it perfectly. for me, no matter what it looked like.
I absolutely have the same belief as well. And we
Yeah.
come into this life, and there's no textbook, there's no instruction manual to know what to do.
No.
And our experiences teach us something. We grow and learn, and we develop skills through everything we've been. Our adversaries serve to make us stronger, but also they help to teach us the power of forgiveness as well, don't they?
Oh, well, that that was extremely important in mine. Once I understood what had happened, then I started the forgiveness of everyone involved. And of course, it was a family member, and there was a lot of grey areas there. Anyway, so I just started doing forgiveness of them and their past, and then mine and my choices, and on it went. And I truly believe that that was the defining thing at the end, that why it went away, because I truly believe I did forgive them and myself. Forgive everyone who was involved. So I didn't harbour any bad feelings towards them at all, because they were only doing what they had been taught. That's
Yeah.
how I see it anyway. Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm a firm believer we're all a product of our life's experiences, and some people have awful life experiences, but never share it. So we never truly know what anybody's ever been through.
No.
We're past our emotions, and our beliefs are passed through the generations as our upbringing of children, and what we believe to be the correct thing to do to bring children up.
Yeah.
And that just is perpetuated until people like ourselves become conscious of it all. And that's key, isn't it? That learning to become conscious of
Yes.
why we are who we are, what's made us like this, and what beliefs still work for us now, but what beliefs we might need to change.
Exactly. Because they get outmoded as you learn and grow and understand a lot of things. Then you think, oh, well, that doesn't really fit that mold anymore. I can let that one go. And then, as I said, new choices create a better future. So we can keep changing our thoughts and our beliefs as we go along, because as we do understand more, well, then you would want to change. Otherwise, you'll just stay in the one spot. You won't keep growing.
Yeah. Not everybody wants to change though, do they? It's a personal choice.
Well, and you can't change anyone else. They have to want it for themselves. And as much as we would like to change them and think they'd be better off, but it's not our place to do that at all. Not our place.
No.
And it's not our job anyway, not our responsibility. No.
No, it's not. But never underestimate the power of planting seeds.
What was that? Sorry?
Never underestimate the power of planting seeds.
Oh, that's true. You can do it subtly. Yes, we can. But as I say, you can only lead a horse to water. You can't make them drink. Yeah, yes. Yes. So, yeah, change is good, but you've got to be ready for it. That's for sure.
You have to, absolutely. And when I'm working with some of my clients, they're struggling with the forgiveness. So I'd say to them, if you can't forgive the person who did whatever they did, can you forgive the soul within that person to bring about an acceptance, to be able to forgive? Because forgiveness is so powerful.
Yeah. And you're doing it really for yourself, because as you set yourself free, you set them free as well. So they don't see that, other people don't see that connection. What you do for one, you do for another. And so anyway, yes, I feel forgiveness is very powerful for sure.
Yeah.
I still do it now.
Yeah, absolutely. Me too.
Yeah.
Me too. And as we help others to heal, we actually help ourselves to continue to heal as well, don't we?
Exactly. And that won't stop until off we go to another place, whatever you want to call it. Yes. So there'll always be change, always learning, always growing to be done. And I think if we're brave enough not to run away and just hide under the covers and just saying, okay, well, it's here for a reason. Let's look at it and let's try to resolve it. If you can't, well, that's fine. It'll come up again. It will come up again. It always will. So don't worry about it if you miss the first time of addressing whatever issue it might be. So you'll get another chance. you get another
Yes,
chance.
yes, absolutely. And I do believe that too, that if you don't fully acknowledge and heal something, that other things will come into your life to give you the chance to work around that.
Yeah, bit annoying sometimes, but you know
Yes.
that.
And I think we have to sit with it, to feel it, to heal it.
Yeah. Now that's a good way of putting it. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, allow it to be with it.
Yes.
Really be with whatever you're feeling and whatever's going on. Yes. Yes.
Yeah. And I'm a big believer in acknowledging it too, because some people say just flip it around, flip a negative into a positive. But actually, I think you need to feel that negative, acknowledge that negative. Sometimes think, well, why is this showing up in my life?
That's
And
exactly
then
right.
turn it around.
Yes, yes, exactly. Look at, because otherwise it will probably come back again in another form, and you'll still have to learn, what that issue was all about. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. And this emotional part of the healing process with the forgiveness combined is, in my mind, is critical to the healing process. The physical, changing your diet and your lifestyle will go some way. Changing your mental attitude will go some more way.
Yeah.
But dealing with the emotions that underpin the disease or the illness process that you've had is really critical to healing.
Yeah, it definitely. And cry buckets of tears if you have to. I have for many years. I think, will I ever stop? But you do. You get to a point where you sort of, you come to terms with a lot of things, and it just doesn't have the same impact anymore. And then you think, oh, okay, I kicked my toe back then, and now it doesn't hurt so much. And so you can get on with your life without it having so much power over all the decisions you make, because something can be quite difficult, and to move on in life. It depends what it is for people. They just find it really hard. They get stuck and they don't know what to do or where to go. But anyway, that's all right too. That is still okay, because we can be stuck for as long as we like, and then one day we don't want to be anymore.
Yes. Yeah. But the tears as well, let the tears flow. A lot of people are quite guarded and don't want the tears to flow because they feel it's a sign of weakness.
No.
But actually it takes courage to let those tears flow, and the tears themselves are the emotion coming out, and it's part of the healing process.
I was told once in one of the workshops, Reiki workshops probably, where if you cry, then it gives other people permission to cry.
Yes.
It's okay to be the first one to cry. And others think, oh, well, it is okay. We can express ourselves in that way. And particularly in such a safe environment. I mean, it really is encouraged, because that's what we're there for. But not everyone feels comfortable to do that in front of others.
Yeah.
So they'll probably have to go home and do it in their own way. But I think if I've got tears, they've got to come out.
Yeah. I see it as washing the soul.
Oh, yeah, that's nice. Yeah.
So, Kaylene, I believe you've written a couple of books. Would you like to let the listeners know?
Well, I did. I wrote For the Love of Self, it's called. And after I healed myself of the cancer, I kept getting prompts from the universe and all sorts of things about writing a book. And I said, oh, I don't know how to write a book. And I went to a class, and she said, write it. I said, everyone has written books about these sorts of things. She'd write it anyway. So I did so much, and then I put it away. What do you do with it? Until 2016, believe it or not, it just got to the point where I couldn't avoid it any longer. And my husband and I were going into the city for dinner, and my favourite colour is purple. And we're driving along in the cab, and all of a sudden my head just went like that. And on a big billboard, I'm going goosebumps now, big billboard in purple writing was, your story changes lives. We had been talking about me writing my book.
Wow.
Story. I said, okay, I've got it. So what do I do now? So find out where I can learn how to write a book. So I started going to biography classes, And the lady was really, really good. She'd already written books anyway, so she was good. Not all autobiography or biography, but other books. So she sort of knew how to guide us. And there was quite a few in the class. So anyway, I ended up doing 3 terms with her before she sort of said, I think you're getting it, type of thing. So she let me go, and I stopped going to classes. And so it took me probably another 6 months. I was sort of writing the book as well while I was going to the classes, and then you've got to publish it. Where do you go to publish it? And all these sorts of things. So I published it with Balboa because they're the self-publishing arm of Hay House, who are the self-help people, I believe. So I published that back in 2018. So I have included other things in there apart from my cancer journey. Just other bits and pieces like the Reiki that I learned, and there's just some, let's say, tidbits in there that might whet people's interest, and they might want to pursue that. So it's not all just about my cancer journey. It's other things in there as well. But a lot of it's to using this, the tools and strategies that I learned. So you can apply it to anything, whatever's wrong. You can use the same things to heal. That's how it's worked for me anyway. So yeah, I wrote the book and I was very proud of it. It's only a small book, but good things come in small packages, they say.
Absolutely, yes. Well done.
Yeah, so that's my little book.
Oh, fabulous. For the Love of Self by Kaylene Hay.
Yeah. So and I was actually I asked the universe, God, whoever you want to call, for a name for the book. This was way back, in 2004. And I got For the Love of Self, and it never changed. I asked, was it going to be any different? No, that was and I thought it was really quite an apt title for me. The things that you do for the love of yourself. And that's what we have to do. We have to learn to love ourselves first before we can really love anyone else properly. And that's really is an ongoing work in progress too, isn't it? Well, it is for me. But we just keep working away at it, and we get better at doing things better for ourselves. Yes.
Yes. And the more we learn to love and accept ourselves for who we are, we can start moving forwards in our journey.
Yeah.
But I think we have to get to the point of acceptance before we can build that love of self in some ways.
I mean, even though we know what we've chosen to, we're here for a reason and all that sort of thing, but you've still got to work through all those other those other things that we may not really want to, because it's sort of a little bit hard to go there, but it's certainly worth the effort to keep working away at it, and when you can and when you feel you can, and then also get help from other people if you need it. Don't be afraid to ask for help. Sometimes you might have to pay for it, sometimes not, but there's just so much out there in alternative healing, in healing modalities and massages and all. It just continues to grow. So I think what you need, it'll come to you. You don't have to. You're sort of thinking about what's wrong with you, and then all of a sudden you'll see a sign for a kinesiologist. Let's say, oh, maybe I need to see a kinesiologist. I think it comes like that. Yeah, everyone gets fed to what is the best thing for them. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, absolutely, and that self-healing journey it's an ongoing, lifelong process, isn't it?
Oh yeah, for sure. Yes. Well, if we didn't have anything to work on, we'd have no need to be here, would we?
Absolutely, yes. Yes. Yeah, not everybody believes the same, but I'm totally on board with that.
So no, the book's been really good. I had a lot of fun, promoting it and doing book signings, and that was the best part, I think, because they could interact with other people. They see the book, they come over and ask questions, and that was really quite wonderful, because then COVID came. Good old COVID, and that sort of stopped a lot of that. So that's all right. You just got to change gears and do something different.
Yeah. And like you say, when people realize what you've healed, it makes you more relatable to some people, because then they want to know how you've healed, what you've done, and they can relate their own journey through illness and disease.
It's interesting, you know, because way back in 2001, I didn't even have a computer. And of course, we didn't really Google everything like we do now. So just very recently, I thought, oh, I might just have a look, see what's actually involved in stage 3. Well, I was really quite surprised. I knew I had abnormal cells everywhere, but it hadn't gone secondary. That's what the 3rd stage is. 4th stage would have been secondary. And I thought, oh, well, there you go. It was probably, let's say, more serious than I probably gave it credit for. You know, I didn't really think that much about it. I just knew I had a job to do, and I just set about and did it. But I didn't really know what it involved. So I was quite surprised, actually. Yeah, it's not common. Vaginal cancer is not that common, apparently. So Dr. Google says.
No, ovarian cancer is a lot more common.
What is, sorry?
Ovarian cancer.
Ovarian. Okay.
Yeah.
Mm.
But yeah, there's definitely links with all of it, isn't there, in the female reproductive system?
Yeah. So it was everywhere, but not really showing up in any negative way. But anyway, that's all right. So I thought, it was fascinating to find a little bit more about it that had already come and gone.
Yeah, and there's 2 camps, isn't there? There's the knowledge is power, so you know what you're dealing with, but then also with knowledge could breed fear when you start reading around it, and as you found out how potentially serious it could have been. But
exactly. And I thought, well, I may have made different choices. You know, this, that. Maybe I should do this, and maybe I should do that. Well, I didn't do any of that. I just kept following my own prompts and what kept coming in, and it worked for me. So that's all. I'm happy with that. Yes.
Yeah, and also I really love that we need to listen to our body, because our body is always speaking to us, all those messages through different signs, symptoms, feelings, emotions. And if we can really tap into that, we can find out what we need to know rather than seeking external validation, verification. We know, ultimately, our subconscious mind knows everything. But we don't tend to tap into it.
No, and I think I've been a bit guilty of with other things, is like I'll ask Mary, and then I'll ask Jim, and then I'll ask someone else, and you'll get 6 different opinions. Now what do I do? Now I'm more confused, still don't know what I want to do. So I think you just have to sit quietly, talk about it, pray about it, whatever your way is, and then let the information come, that what is the best thing for you, because everyone else has got, we're all so different, so many different things, you know, that make up our own body. So what worked for them may not work for me. So that's what I'm saying. My way is only one way. There's many ways.
Yeah, and the more opinions, the more people you reach out to, and the more opinions you get, and the more diverse they can be. And then you're like, well, if I follow that, I might upset that person, and if I don't do what they said, you know, they might take umbrage. And it's like, so if you just sit with yourself and ask your body, there is nothing wrong with asking your body, you know, what do I need to heal? What is the root cause of this? Can you help me out with some guidance? And we're not taught that, are we?
No, it's I think that's part of, we really just have to learn to trust ourselves, and I think that's where I probably went wrong, you know, in earlier days, thinking, well, why would I know anything, you know? And then you start to realize, well, only I could know about me, really. I mean, other people can know, but I have to trust me. And I think it's really important if people can learn to do that. Just sit quietly, ask the questions. If the answers don't come straight away, that's fine. They might come tomorrow, and look, it might come on the TV, it might come out of a newspaper. There's all sorts of ways you get messages. It's not going to be a big loud voice in your head. It could be all sorts of different ways that we can get our messages. So just be patient and just be aware. And sometimes they can just come in straight away. Oh, was that? Oh, I nearly missed that one, you know, because it comes in so quickly sometimes. So we need to learn to trust and tune into ourselves, for sure.
Yeah, and just be open. Because, you know, we can close our minds off and go, well, I'm only thinking along this line, but the answer might be over here, you know, and if we've closed our mind off and you know, not accepting of other things, then we'll miss the answer.
I think a lot of fear comes into it though, Sarah, you know, with if I do this, what could happen? Maybe I'll just stay the way I am. It's not that bad, you know, I can cope, whatever. And so rather stay in the fear than to make any changes towards the love side, because there's only really love or fear. It's just the other side of the coin.
Yeah. And the other thing is, cancer is so emotive as well, isn't it? When people get a cancer diagnosis, many people jump straight into fear because it's been propagated as a, you know, something to be feared, and all the different treatments through the medical model, and you know, healing might not be possible, and so it's so easy to jump into fear with that diagnosis.
I think I mentioned in my book or somewhere that it's been growing for a while. It hasn't just popped up today.
Yes.
So don't have that, you know, when you're in such an emotional state, try not to make that decision straight away. Go home and think about it. Have a day or two or a week. I don't think that will, unless it's really critical, of course. I mean, you still have to address that. But generally, I think give yourself a little bit of time to be quiet and saying, okay, what do I need to do? Can you show me where to go? Whatever. Is this the best option for me? Just keep asking yourself the questions, and then you'll get the answers for sure. So I think a lot of people do act, oh, well, I have to do the chemo, the radiation or surgery or whatever's being suggested. And I mean, even in my case, the doctor wrote to me straight away. She was writing out the referral for the hospital. And I said, oh, hold on, no.
Yeah.
And she just sort of looked at me. So yeah, there was 3 letters all same. Your life is in grave danger. Your life is in grave danger. You need to go and have surgery. And I said, no, I don't. No, I don't. I'll find a way for myself. Yeah. So and I did. So I did write to her and say that don't bother writing to me again, because I'm not going to take any notice.
No, and I think sometimes as well, people aren't even aware that there's alternative treatments, because the doctor suggests radio or chemo. They think that's the only options they've got.
That's right. And sometimes you can combine, you know, you combine alternative and, you know, your chemos and things. A lot of times you can't. I know some doctors don't like to do that. But look, whatever your choices are, that's fine. We need to honour. If I chose to go down the chemo and radiation, well, that's fine. That's my choice. And so, and everyone's entitled to have, you know, make their own choices for that. And I just think it's so grueling and so cruel, you know, what it does to the body. And I just feel really sorry for them. But if that's the only way they feel that they can do it, well, then that's fine. I'll honour that for sure and just help where I can.
Yeah, and like you say, it's totally personal choice, and we have to be okay with their own personal choice, and just support them as and when we can.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Yes. Oh, so what else would you like to know, Sarah?
Say again?
I said, what else would you like to know?
I would like to know what tip you could share with the listeners to help them to help themselves.
Well, what helped me the most was, the first thing is I just sat down quietly and prayed about my situation and asked for any help that I was going to need to heal it in whatever way was going to be the best for me, and then just waited for the signs and the guidance to come in. And then I actually followed, I think, everything that came in, because a lot of them were just so out of the blue. People who didn't really know me, who felt obliged, who felt, what's the word? They wanted to talk to me and saying, look, I think you might benefit by coming to this workshop type of thing. So there's that, but also I found affirmations extremely good. Look, a couple that's really just really ordinary, but they work, is I love, excuse me, I love and approve of myself exactly as I am. I am worthy, or all is well in my world, And that can it's always got to be done in the positive though. Like you can't say, I don't want to be sick anymore. I want to be well all the time. Or what? Change it to a positive. Don't put any negatives in there, because the subconscious doesn't understand a negative. All it hears is sick. And so therefore what you say you don't want turns up. Yeah, so I think affirmations, prayer, just listening to yourself, and then just, if you need extra help, sourcing out the individual help that you might need, whether it's massage or kinesiology, whatever like that. So there's so much out there. You'll find something that suits you just perfectly. Yes.
Thank you. And where can people find you, Kaylene?
Well, they can find me at my website, which is just kaylenehey.com.au. My email, well, what else? Facebook. I've got Facebook. It's just Kaylene Hay - for the love of self. You can find me there. And my book can be found in just about every bookshop you can think of, and it was on amazon.com.au, and the .com and .com. So it's in America and in Australia, of course, because it was because I'm here. So it's available in both Amazons in Australia and America. So yes, where else is it? Instagram, Kaylene _body_mind_spirit. Kaylene, that's it. Body, mind, spirit.
Super.
So that's all the place you can find me.
I'll share all your links in the text below, so people can find you and click them.
Okay, thanks. Yeah, that'd be great. Thank you.
Wonderful. Well, Kaylene, it's been fabulous to have you on the show. Thank you so much for joining me. It's
been just a delight. It has. It wasn't that hard after all, Sarah. It was quite easy. You're a great leader.
Thank you.
Yeah.